My 26F fiance, 32M, left me alone in the woods. I'm sorry for the formatting or spelling. I'm typing this on the side of the road because I feel like I need quick responses on this. I have been with my fiance for 6 years. I am 26F. He is 32 meters. He has always had a short temper and often picks arguments over small things, but he's so very kind. Every other time that I have looked past it and maybe hoped to help him chill out. He's funny and I really do love him. I do my best to avoid arguments, but sometimes it's impossible. Anyway, we had gone to a beach about 45 minutes away from home, located in a state park which is not staffed or really patrolled well at all today, and had been drinking and swimming and having a generally good time. I remember feeling so happy and content because we hadn't argued in several days and he'd been in a good mood, etc. We began to leave and started heading home, still in good spirits. The beach was located in a remote area and neither of us had phone signal to use the GPS to leave. He began to yell and take his anger out on the steering wheel, and I instantly felt defensive. Like every happy moment of the day was crumbling right there, because usually once this behavior starts, the day is ruined. I made the mistake of yelling back at him that he needed to chill out, quit making everything such a huge deal, etc. I regret this, but I just felt so overwhelmed. I just wanted the good vibes to continue, ya know? We argued back and forth for a few more moments before he angrily pulled the truck to a small paved parking lot where people usually stop to rest or grill food, that kind of thing. He screamed at me to get out, and, like an idiot, I did, and he left me there. I sat in the brush and cried for a few minutes before a man approached me and started asking kind of uncomfortable questions about where I was from, who I was with, where they were. I tried to be friendly in the hopes my fiance would return soon. But the stranger started touching my hands and offered me a ride home, and it made me scared, so I lied and said I had to go meet my boyfriend at a spot nearby and walk down the road quickly. I made it about a quarter of a mile away before I sat by a little pond where some people were fishing. I had no cell phone signal to call anyone to get me, and I was scared to ask for help, so I just sat there and tried not to panic for almost 3 hours. I was alone the majority of the time, as when I arrived the only people around were already packed and leaving. From 4 p.m. 6:30 p.m. I was left alone in the forest until I was able to find cell phone service after wandering for a bit, and called my fiance's mom to come get me. It is now almost 8 p.m. and I am extremely sunburnt and thirsty. I am quite pale and had been drinking all day until he left. But I finally walked far enough to get signal to call his mom for help. I haven't spoken to him yet, but he has sent several messages that I just got, seeing as I had no signal. Basically just asking where I was and complaining that I had his wallet in my purse. I'm still waiting for my ride to get here. Still very lost and upset. I feel so hurt and betrayed, and as if this was a huge overaction on his end, but I do love him, and if it's my fault I want to know. It was such a scary experience, which is why I feel it was too much. Edit. I wanted to say thank you to anyone who has left a comment, since there are too many to reply one at a time. So, thank you. I am currently safe and staying the night with my mom. After my fiance and his mom finally found me after a stranger noticed me on the side of the road and drove me around the park for 15 minutes looking for them. They both started in at me that this is all my fault because I should have just refused to get out of the car to begin with. I realize that is what logic would tell you to do. But it's hard to be logical when you are upset, tipsy, and being screamed at. He also claimed that he looked for me for 2 hours before leaving to rally help in looking. His mom swears up and down he's telling the truth too, but I don't believe it. I sat in the spot he left me for at least 30 minutes before I was scared off by a stranger. And then I sat in a very visible, heavily trafficked area next to a creek that was maybe a quarter-mile from where I started with no visual barriers whatsoever for another 2.5. I never saw or heard him drive by once. I remember listening closely for him because his truck is loud and I would have heard it coming. I can see now that he has put me in grave danger. Maybe even more danger than I realized at the time. He has still not apologized. But I don't expect him to because he thinks he is right in this. I'm going to try and remove him from my life and spend some time alone. I will admit that in my quest for love and closeness, I have let him and other men treat me less than great just to keep them around. Thank you all again for helping me understand what a doormat I've been. In trying to force this man to love me, I have forgotten to love myself. There is no coming back from this. You can expect many years of this to come unless you break up the cycle now. The abuse will get worse, to the point it could end your life. Get out now while you can. Make a list of people you can count on and trust. Make a list of phone numbers for emergencies and prepare your finances. You do not deserve this. He left you with zero concern for your safety. He made his decision about how he feels about you. He left you on the side of the road like trash. His behavior and abuse are unacceptable. What you are describing is the cycle of abuse. You need to make your decision. You need to leave him like the piece of garbage he is. Truly, your safety needs to be your concern. Marriage won't change him or make it better. Sister, you need to leave. You could have been raped and killed. Or worse. And yes, there is worse. Do not fall for any more excuses. He is an abusive, dangerous, thoughtless man. You deserve better. Please gather up your courage and leave him. Girl, stop saying you love him. He's abusive. He's a horrible partner. Love alone isn't enough to make any relationship work. Do yourself a favor. Move on. This is beyond the pale. You could have been raped or murdered and he's worried about his wallet. My God. Get out now. This man is a selfish lunatic. You are constantly changing your behavior so he doesn't get into a bad mood or tantrum. What will you do if you have a child with him? Will you let him treat your child like this and have them this scared? No? Well, you are someone's child and you're letting him treat you this way. Be better to yourself and dump him. I hope you are done with this person. This is not salvageable. It's dump time. I mean your abusive boyfriend left you for dead. What are you asking? OMG, please seriously reconsider your relationship with this man. Anything could have happened to you, and worse, what is the next situation? He has proven that you are not safe with him and he has serious anger issues. You could have died of exposure. This should end things. He is dangerous. I hope that you realize the severity of this situation. If you don't break up with him now, you may as well just start planning your own funeral. He may kill you. Or if he doesn't and you stay with him, you will be so sad and miserable you will wish you were dead. Hi Reddit. I'd like to know what you all think of this. I am 20F. Dating Satan. 1 million BCM. He's usually super nice and funny except for the times he flicks a lighter at my hair, beats me or yells at me. He also verbally abuses me and makes me cry. But other than that, he's my best friend and I love him so much. I let him take my car and my credit card and he says I am not getting those back either. Oh well. I love him. Last night I found an ad on Craigslist where he had me up for sale by the hour. First come first served with no safe word. I protested mildly since he didn't ask first. Next thing I knew I was in the with third-degree burns and a concussion. I don't know Reddit. I think I might be at fault here because I wasn't respecting his wants or needs. What do you think? He says all will be perfect if I just start respecting him. I love him and to bear his baby demons is my life's dearest wish. This type of stuff is all over Reddit. Girl, what are you doing? When you see the devil, run. How many true crime scenarios start off just like what he did to you? I exhort you and those like you to develop more of a sense of self-preservation. Also, please run every card in this wallet through the shredder. Why don't PPL date the Lil Nas X version of Satan? He at least looks like a fun time. SMH. He has always had a short temper and often picks arguments over small things, but he's so very kind. Every other time that I have looked past it and maybe hoped to help him chill out. Unfortunately, it comes down to this. No, you can't help him chill out. Even a few days of absolute highs won't stop even the most minor inconvenience causing him to spiral. He may be kind when he is stable, but his ability to regulate his stress is at near zero, and once he is off balance he has zero empathy, care, or consideration for you. Heck, if anything, he becomes spiteful and petty and cruel. You were put in genuine peril, exposure, assault, etc. You just went through it. You know how bad it could have gone. And he, upset or not, contrived and condoned that danger to you. It doesn't get better. It wasn't a lack of good times, a lack of love, a lack of consideration from a partner that was the problem. Even when you offer all those things, he doesn't chill out, because the problem is that he just can't regulate his emotions. You will waste your entire life living like this, pretending things will be different next time. This is the sign. You have to leave him. I was in your situation. Always walking on eggshells. What he did to you was deplorable. You need to be angry at him. Please stand up for yourself and leave this man. Oh honey, I know from experience trauma bonding can be hot and exhilarating, but my heart broke a little at feeling really happy and content. BC, we hadn't argued in several days. Quote, I haven't argued with my wife this year. Would you want to have children with someone so selfish and with the emotional regulation capacity of a toddler? Hashtag DTMFA. You deserve so much better. Leaving may ultimately save your life.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.